Hello guys, my name is Blair. I'm actually a lurker in these stories, but I never thought I would have one of my own. I don't think any of us have ever imagined ourselves in this situation, but you never know what fate has in store for you. This is exactly what happened to me. My husband, Howard, was the best partner I could ask for. He was caring and had a very good reputation among his peers. We met at a work event and hit it off immediately. Howard and I had a lot of common interests, which drew us closer. We dated for about 5 years before deciding to tie the knot. Frankly speaking, he was my best friend. I couldn't imagine my life without him. One thing that I must mention is the fact that he was very close to his mother. His dad passed away when he was young, so it was always his mom and him. His mother, Miranda, was actually speech impaired and couldn't speak, but she was a very kind woman. At least, that's what I thought in our very first meeting. She was quick to sing praises of me. We communicated through texts, since I didn't know sign language. She said, "I'm so glad to finally meet you, Blair. You have no idea how excited I am. Howard always speaks praises of you, and I can see why. You are an amazing woman." I was very flattered. Miranda continued, "I'm glad you like me, and we are going to have a great relationship. I lost my mother 10 years back, and you feel a lot like her, Blair. I do have a feeling that we will be very close. I always wanted a daughter, and it looks like I finally have one." Indeed, Miranda and I had a great bond. We spent a lot of time together even without Howard. While I was pretty well off, Howard and Miranda were not as much, so I tried to help them out as often as possible. I seriously felt a lot of love towards them, so it all made sense to me. They quickly became my family, other than my sister, Erin. For some reason, Erin was a little wary of them. However, she could see that I was happy, so she didn't say anything about them. Howard's reaction to Erin getting her inheritance had some part to play. When Erin and her husband suddenly purchased a new house and 2 new cars, Howard was pretty shocked. He said, "Wow, Erin, you did splurge on your car and house. I had no idea your job paid so much money." Erin replied, "It wasn't my job, Howard. We came into some money very recently, so we decided to change our lifestyle a bit." Howard asked, "Are you sure it's not something illegal? I mean, normal people like us have to work hard to have this kind of lifestyle. Hell, most of us can just dream about it." "There is nothing illegal going on, Howard," Erin said. "She just got the rest of her inheritance from our parents. It was in a trust fund until she turned 30. "Really, Blair? Wow, that must be very convenient. Do you have a trust fund like that?" Howard asked. "I do, actually. We were given the house straight away, but the rest is put in a fund until we turn 30. I will get mine once I turn 30 as well," I replied. "Oh my God, we will be so rich. I guess I won't have to work anymore. You can just pay for us. I wish you could get it sooner. It would have been so much better." Erin looked really uncomfortable at his words. Even I felt like his words were a little off. Still, we laughed about the situation and let it go. Ever since then, Howard had intentionally made me pay more towards dates and gifts. He even told me to buy Miranda expensive gifts. Since I had the money, Howard was constantly making plans for a luxurious life and not working again. Despite all these red flags, I chose to ignore him. My sister scolded me about revealing my inheritance. She said, "Blair, you should have fought better. You know the reason our parents didn't give us the money straight away. They wanted to protect us from getting tricked." "Relax, Erin. It's just Howard I told about the inheritance. He's my boyfriend. We're talking about getting engaged soon. He would have known eventually," I replied. "You saw how he reacted to the news. You could have waited. Blair, how are you sure he won't marry you for money? He is always fast forward a year. Howard proposed to me and I said yes. We were already planning to move into the house I inherited from my parents. Since Howard didn't have a house of his own, it was decided that he would live with me. But as the wedding drew near, he started to act a little off. When I asked him about his problems, he said, "Blair, there's something that you need to know. Mom's lease is about to expire in a few months. After we get married, I will have to live with you. Would you mind if she moves in permanently? You know she can't speak, and I don't like her being alone and vulnerable." "I can understand your situation, Howard. Miranda can absolutely move in with us. I like her a lot, and she seems very sweet. Since she is like a mother to me, I don't mind it at all." "Thank you so much, Blair. You have no idea how relieved I feel. I was really scared to leave Mom alone. It gives me nightmares to think she's without help. Frankly speaking, I never thought living with Miranda would be a problem. She was a pretty chill woman, and as I've said before, she loved me a lot. So I thought I wouldn't have any problems. Thinking about it now, I don't know if her moving in with us was an advantage or not. After Howard and I got married, Miranda ended her lease and moved in with us. My house had 4 bedrooms, so space wasn't an issue at all. We all had our privacy and even some extra space for guests. I thought I had a very happy family. I never considered Miranda as a mother-in-law. I always considered her like my own mom. After years of being without a mom, it finally felt like I had everything in the world. Erin, on the other hand, wasn't so convinced about my happiness. When I visited her alone, she used to warn me about Miranda and Howard. She always said, "Sis, I know that you're very happy right now, but I think you should be careful. There are a lot of warning signs around you. You seem to not notice them at all." "What do you mean, Erin? I don't understand what you're talking about." "Look, I can see that you love Miranda and Howard, but you might be getting a little carried away when you are not looking. I have seen Miranda make faces at you. Even Howard supports her and laughs. I might not understand sign language, but body language also tells a lot. You might be a little mistaken, Erin. Howard and Miranda are genuinely nice people. Yes, they may not be from our economic background, but they're still good people." "I don't know, Blair. I don't mind their economic status, but something seems really fishy. I just want you to be careful. Why don't you learn sign language? That way you won't be excluded from their conversations." "That's a great idea, Erin. You know what? Her birthday's coming up next month. I'm sure I can learn some basic sign language by then. It would be a good surprise for her. I promised myself that I would learn it. Miranda and Howard communicate in sign language pretty frequently. I was starting to feel left out, so I thought learning it would be a great idea. I did plan to live with them forever. Plus, it's always a good idea to learn ASL. With that in mind, I began to learn sign language. I didn't even tell Howard because I wanted it to be a surprise. I think learning the language really saved me. About 2 weeks before Miranda's birthday, I accidentally caught Miranda and Howard having a conversation in ASL. I was going to call them for dinner, but was instead greeted by a very strange conversation. By then, I had already learned a good bit of sign language, so I had no doubt what they were talking about. Miranda said, "I am glad Blair doesn't know sign language. That stupid brat is so annoying. If only she knew what we think of her. God, I'm tired of acting nice to her. When will this torture end?" "It won't be long, Mom. Just wait for 1 year. As soon as she gets her inheritance, we can claim half of it. I will try to trick her into signing it for me. I doubt she would be convinced that easily. She's not as stupid as we think. That girl is a freaking witch." "Don't worry, Mom. If she doesn't sign it away, I will divorce her. Then she'll be forced to give me half of her inheritance. I'm planning to quit my job 2 months before she turns 30. That way she will be giving me alimony as well." "That's a great idea, Howard. I do have a clever son. After we get our hands on Blair's money, we will finally get rid of her. Then we can say good riddance to this worthless woman. Maybe with that money, we'll finally buy that house you've been eyeing for a while. I bet we will still have leftovers." I was shocked to see what they were saying. Here I was trying to learn sign language to develop a better bond with my in-laws, only to discover that my husband and mother-in-law planned to steal my inheritance. My whole life felt like a lie. I was mentally beating myself up for falling for such a horrible man. I also hated myself for telling him about my inheritance. I couldn't hold my tears, but didn't want them to see me crying. They hadn't noticed my presence yet, so I quickly took my phone and went to my sister's place. When I reached her place, she was kind of shocked to see me in such a condition. At that point, I started to cry on her front porch. She brought me in and calmed me down. After I was done crying, she said, "My God, sis, what happened to you? Why are you crying like this? Tell me what happened." "Erin, you were right about Miranda and Howard. They are not good people. All this while they have been plotting to take my inheritance. Howard only married me for money. Even Miranda hates me." "Are you serious right now? How did you know all this?" "I saw them speaking Asel today. Now that I know the language, I could make out what they were saying." I went on to tell Erin what Miranda and Howard talked about. Retelling everything again sent me into another crying fit that took time to subside. But the second round of crying brought a lot of clarity to my head. I was immediately planning to get back at them. "Erin, I hope you're not thinking about letting them go just like that. Don't tell me you will continue this marriage. I'll be disappointed in you." "No, Erin, there is no way I will stay married to that scum, and I don't plan on letting them get away with everything. They think I'm a worthless and powerless woman. I'll show them just how clever I can be." "That's my sister. Do you have a plan?" "Yes, I'm going to throw a big birthday party for Miranda. Then I will reveal her true face to everyone. Howard is also going down with her. I will make sure of it." A plan was already forming in my mind. All I had to do was work around the details and execute it perfectly. My sister Erin was also a huge help during this time. Her husband is a cop, and she promised to be on standby if things escalated or went south. I was so disillusioned by them that I was ready to face anything. I texted Miranda, "Hey Miranda, you know that your 60th birthday is only a few days away. I'm so excited and want to plan a big party for you. It's a gift from me." "Oh really, Blair? That is so sweet. I don't know what I have done to deserve such a sweet daughter-in-law." "It's nothing, Miranda. You deserve the party I'm planning. Why don't you send me a list of invites so that I can make sure everyone you love is invited?" "That's a great idea, Blair. I do want my friends and family members to come. It is a milestone birthday anyway. I'll send over a list from my side." She sent me a rather long list of invites. It looks like she did have some plans to mooch off me. She invited 50 people, and Howard invited 20 of his friends and colleagues. His excuse was that I could afford it. I was slowly starting to see just how much they were taking advantage of me. I was prepared. I was also collecting some crucial videos through our security cameras. On the day of the party, every guest we invited showed up. Both Miranda and Howard were very happy. Erin and I were happy too, but for different reasons. I had some important papers in my bag, and things were about to get interesting. After the cake was cut, I decided to make a speech. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you could join us today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to celebrate Miranda's birthday. Since everyone is here, I'd like to give Miranda my special gift." "You got a special gift for Mom? That's so nice." Howard said, "Why don't we find out what it is?" I quickly faced Miranda and Howard and signed to them, "I know your plans about my inheritance. Now watch me destroy your reputation in front of everyone. This is my gift to you. Miranda, Howard will get one as well." After I signed, the two of them looked shocked. They glanced around and saw that some people could figure out what I said. Most of Miranda's friends knew sign language, so they could understand. Miranda and Howard quickly signed, begging me to stop. I smirked and began to speak and sign simultaneously. So last month, I decided to learn Asel to surprise my mother-in-law. I had good intentions and only wanted to develop a deeper relationship with her. But when I learned the language, I discovered something shocking. Watch this video. I played the video. Blair, please stop. We can talk about this. You don't have to show this to everyone. Please listen to me. You can't insult us like this, Blair. Our reputation will be destroyed. Don't do this. I paid them no heed. The video played, showing how horrible Howard and Miranda were. I had recorded them having mean conversations about me, calling me a spoiled brat and a worthless witch, among other things. They also discussed how they planned to steal my inheritance. People who knew ASL were horrified by the video, and those who didn't know ASL were provided with subtitles I made myself. It was glorious. When the video ended, everyone looked pretty upset. Howard and Miranda had a habit of acting nice, so it was shocking to see this side of them. I took the opportunity to say, now that you've received your special gift, there are 2 more things waiting for you: divorce and eviction papers. I expect your things to be out of my house within a month. And Howard, we are done. You can't do this to us. You can't divorce me and kick us out. This is all a misunderstanding. Yes, we were just joking around. Don't be so rash with your decisions. We can talk this out. I will apologize, and so will Howard. You've already spoiled our reputation. Isn't that enough? No, that is not enough. You wanted to take everything from me. Today I will take everything from you. Just wait and watch. With that, I handed them the legal papers and went inside the house. My sister Erin apologized to the guests on my behalf and asked them to enjoy the rest of the party. They actually started to berate my husband and mother-in-law. My husband's colleagues gave him dirty looks, while Miranda's friends literally just left. One of them even said they would never speak to her again. Erin stayed back with me to ensure that Miranda and Howard didn't try anything stupid. As the days passed, Miranda and Howard were shunned by everyone. We live in a small town, and the community is pretty close-knit. People here don't like backstabbing or lying, so Miranda and Howard's antics were not welcome. Everyone avoided them to save their own reputations. Howard was finding it difficult to work due to the backlash. They begged me to change my mind and let them stay. Howard did the most begging. He promised to love me and change his ways. Surprisingly, he even offered to kick his mother out, which made me laugh. Miranda didn't find it amusing. By the end of the month, Howard and Miranda were having full-blown fights in ASL. It was rather entertaining to watch. Howard believed that I would have stayed with him if Miranda had left the house, while Miranda was offended that he would think of abandoning her. The two saw that a good catch like me was getting away. When the eviction month was up, I had to call the police to get them out. No relative was willing to take them in, so they had to stay in a hotel. After a week, Howard quit his job and moved away. They couldn't bear the constant disdain from people. A distant relative took them in for a month, but no more. They tried to beg me again, but I refused to house them. Howard signed the divorce papers because he no longer had the money for a lawyer. So our divorce was finalized soon. Now they are struggling to get by while I am enjoying my newfound inheritance.